Hi all, good afternoon. Welcome to today's session on labs for introduction to Azure AI Search. So today's video is in continuation with yesterday's session where we learned briefly about Azure AI Search. It was an introduction session. So if you have not already watched that video, you can get the link for the same into the description link. So let's move ahead and start with the introduction to myself first before we get introduced to Azure AI Search. So my name is Abhishek Jalan and my role is Senior Azure DevOps Engineer. I am based in UK. I have 20 plus active Azure certification. I have 30 plus active hyperscaler certification. And on the screen you can see my LinkedIn ID. So if you are interested in a connection, please send a request through. And now let's start with uh, our labs. So I have already logged into my Microsoft Azure and let's start with creating the resources. So I will just create a Azure storage account for today's demo where it will act as a data source for us. So I will put a new resource group, Abhi 1001. So I've just created a new resource group. Abhi demo STRG 1001. It is showing my region basically. It is standard is fine. I'm selecting locally redundant because I'm just doing it for this demo purpose. I'm straight away going to review and create, and I'm trying to create these resources. And while it is happening, let's do another resource in the meanwhile. And okay, so let's quickly go through it. And I need a Azure AI search resource, and let me create another Azure AI search resource. So I will create it into the resource group that we just created, and let me name it demo AI search 1001. I put it into the same region, UK South. I will change the pricing tier to free, and then I will review it and create it. So I will pause the video until our Azure AI search and our storage accounts are created. Okay, so I can check my Azure AI search is created and my storage account is also created. Now, one more resource that we have to create is Azure AI services multi-service account. So let me create this. So I will put it into the same resource group. I will mark it as UK South, and I will mark it as Abhi demo AI service 1001. I will put the pricing tier as a standard because we don't get a free tier for this. So I will do this, and then I will do the review and create. And I will again pause the video until our resource is created. So our Azure AI service is also created now. So let's go to our demo. So once I go to our resource group, I can see all three of my resources are now created. Uh, and when I go to our storage account, I go to containers. It is an empty one. It is just having the logs container. So let's upload some files. So this is the repository I have cloned directly from the Microsoft Learn. I will mention the link to it at the end of our session. So we have some lab files here and I will upload it for you. So let's upload our dummy data which we want to query, which we want to search. Data is in this folder. I need to update. So I need to update few of the details for uploading the files into our storage account. So let's go to overview. Let's copy the subscription ID from here. Come here and I will replace the subscription ID. It is should be same. Now I will copy the name of the storage account from here and I will copy the name. This is the key. Um, I will show it. I will copy it. Don't worry about it, exposing it because it is just for the demo purpose. I will delete it after our session today. And so now I have updated the upload docs details in upload docs. You can follow the same steps. I will give you the link for the code. Now what I will do, I will open it into the integrated terminal. Let's make it a little bit bigger so that you can see it. I can directly drag it and let's run it. So now it will upload all the files into our container. So let's see if it does. So that job is completed and let's go to containers and I can see my 4 container it is created there and it has 2 folders basically review and collateral. So it is all good. So let's go to our resource group again and let's start with the actual work. So basically now we will go to Azure AI Search. We will click on import data because we want to import the data. We will select the data source. It is Azure Blob Storage. Uh, we'll put the name as Margis data. I'm just following the same details which are mentioned in the instructions so that you guys can follow along. So we are mentioning that is at Margis data and I am putting the disk. So I am choosing the parsing mode as default, subscription as free trial. Let me choose the connection string. So we have connection to our container. We are leaving managed identity authentication as none. Container name is correct. Blob folder, we are leaving it fine. Description is optional. Let's upload it. And now let's do the cognitive skill. Okay, so now we are into next stage. Let's expand it. Let's see what is there. So it want to attach an AI service. So we only have one Azure AI service in our account. So it has already populated that. Let's select that. Minimize this. Add enrichment. We will again modify the name to match. So I will do this skill set. We need to enable OCR basically. And let's go. We'll select couple of field, extract location name, extract phraser. We want to detect the language and we want to generate tag from the images. And we also want to generate captions from the images. And let's move ahead. Okay, so now we also into the index page. Let's rename it. Uh, so we are into Margis index. It's fine. Key is fine. It is fine. So now let's select the storage size. We want to make it retrievable. We want to make it filterable. We want to make it sortable. Similarly for metadata storage, last modified, same thing. We want to use the storage name. We will do the same thing, but we also want to make it searchable. We will use metadata author. We want to make it retrievable, filterable, sortable, vegetable, and searchable. We want to use the location. We already retrievable and searchable. We also want to filter on it. We want to filter on key phrases also. We want to filter on languages also. Just let me verify if we have selected it correctly. Uh, you can select for your personal project, you can select as you need, as the requirement of the project is there. Uh, I will explain you why we need to be very specific for today's demo. So yeah, looks good to me. Let's create the indexer, and so now let's create the indexer now. So scheduling, we are scheduling it once, but you can play with it. If you want your indexer to be automatically getting uploaded or updated every hour or daily, or maybe you can use custom scheduling just to, depending on your need. If you have some data store in which someone is dumping the data, you can schedule it so that your indexes can be recreated. Make sure we are selecting this just for encoding the file locations. So now I'm submitting it. Okay, so it is submitted. Let's go to our indexer. So I can already see it was very quick this time, and I can already see the success here, and all our docs are succeeded now. So if we want to test, we can go to overview and we can go to search explorer, and we can search something. And because basically blank searches means we are searching a star, that is our overall search, and it is retrieving all the data. If you want to go, we can go to JSON view from the query view, and it is showing it is just the two parameter search is marked as a star, so that it will retrieve all the values that are present in our data store. And a count equal to true means we are returning the count, how many documents are found in this search. um, okay, now let's try to play a little bit. So we will include couple of statement into our search. So we'll do we have included this. So now basically let's see how it runs. So see, after I have executed this, it has returned basically these three metadata fields. So storage name, metadata, author, and location. So storage name, metadata, author, and location. So these are the fields that are returned basically. And now let's modify it. Let's search for London, let's say. So it will return all the documents that are related to London. Let's see the count. Its count is 19, and it is returning all the documents, all, and basically it is returning only these three fields because we have filtered it out. Now let's do some ambiguous search just to show that this search is working. So this is an ambiguous search. It is just an imaginary text that is not present in our document, so it was not able to return it. Now I want to again put it back to London, and I also want uh, some key phrases to be returned. Let me do it. Let me copy it. Um, so it will return some key phrases also along with the other three which I was having earlier. So it is returning various key phrases in the document. If we want to filter, I can filter it out also. I can add a filter so that we have reviews. So we only get the metadata author as reviewer. So if I search that, you can see it is all the reviewers basically. So that's it. That is the one which I wanted to show basically. So now you have an idea how the search work for with Azure AI Search. Now let's play a little bit more. Let's go to Visual Studio Code and let's see if we have to modify the skill set, how we can achieve that. So let's do that. So this is my Visual Studio. We use the same code to update the documents into our Azure storage. Now we want to modify the search basically. So there is if you go to modify search folder, if you are following along, I said that in the description you can find the link uh, to the code base that I'm using. So I went to modify search. So here you can see there are few configurations are needed. So URL, let me get the URL for my Azure AI search. So here you can find the URL. Let me copy it down and let me replace it. So I have replaced it now, and now it needs a key basically. So keys you can find into setting keys. So it is an admin key that is needed. So let me copy it down. Again, don't worry about the key being exposed because I will delete the resources after this recording this demo. So I have updated this details. Now let's go to skillset.json. So basically skillset.json needs my key to my Azure AI service. So let me get that. So this is my Azure AI service resource. I will go to key and I will expose it. Is I can show it, I can copy it, and let me quickly update it. Okay, so let me verify it if it is correct. Okay, it is only take 80 MB. I think there is something wrong. Yep. So now I have updated the keys. So let's do that. So now if you go to indexer.json, is or in fact skillset.json. If I scroll to bottom, you can see that we have added couple of new skill set. So one is this sentiment analysis, sentiment skill. So what this skill will do, it will retrieve the uh, sentiment analysis. It will do the sentiment analysis based on the document, and it will retrieve the sentiment score from the document and save it. That we will do into basically into our new index that we are going to create. Okay, so now let's go to index.json. So if I come to the bottom of index.json, you can see that we have added two new fields. That one is sentiment and one is URL. So basically, sentiment field will contain the sentiment score after the sentiment analysis is done that we have added into new skill set. And URL will basically will contain the location of the file in our data store. Basically, we are already doing that, and I can show you that. So it is already storing that content here. But the thing is, I will show you in Indexer that while earlier we were encoding it into base 24 basically just for encryption purposes, but for end user we want to display the whole URL. So let's go to indexer.json, and if I scroll on the top, you can see that metadata storage file we were storing into base 64 earlier, but now we also want to map it directly to the URL field without encoding so that end user can review it. And we are also using the sentiment label, and we are mapping it to sentiment field that we created. So that's it. Let's go to uh, okay, so let's open it in a new terminal window, and we will open this modify search and let's click it. So while it is doing it magic, let me quickly show you something if I am not very late. I go to search and I go to indexer, and you can see it is still into the reset stage because we have executed the command and it is resetting the index. And if I refresh it, it's showing that the indexing is in process, it is in progress stage, and soon it will be completed. So now it is completed, our indexes are modified. And if I again go to search explorer and I go to our JSON view. And if I search along, you can see basically we would be returning a sentiment score here. If I scroll down, you can see we are receiving a sentiment score here, and we are getting a URL to which shows the link to this document basically. So let's quickly play with it so that we can understand how it works. So now we have this query where we are searching for all the documents with London. We want to select the URL, sentiment, and some key phrases associated with it, and we want to filter it out based on the metadata author is equal to reviewer or and sentiment is positive. So let me search it. So if I scroll up, you can see it is giving a search score, that's fine. It is giving me key phrases, it is giving me a sentiment as positive, it is giving me an URL. So that's how we can play with it. Okay, so as we have now played with it, let's quickly go to create a client application where. So that code is already present here. Now, if you open the C# folder here, there is a merge is travel folder. We just need to update few of the configuration. I will close all these documents. Let's go to app settings.json where here we want to update couple of endpoints like we did before. So we need a search endpoint for our search resource. So let's go to it. So let me copy it down and so I have updated it. Needs a basically query API key. So let me get it. So you can see these are the two keys. It needs this query API key. So we have done it. So now let's go to our pages basically. So if we go to index.cs, html.cs, this is the main course, main course basically. So if you see here, if you follow this, it is importing the namespaces basically that are related with Azure Search. So it has done that. If you scroll down, if you come to search query function, it is creating a search client basically, and then it is creating a search query. Uh, give your focus to this particular field basically. So it is using a facet field of metadata author, so it will return all the possible values of metadata author that is present in the indexes. Search mode is set to all, and these are the fields that we want to include in our result basically. And yeah, let me also show you how the UI will look like. So you can see that first of all, this form would be loaded. It is a basic form just to display some search basically, and followed by this form. Once you put something into the search box and you submit it, it will redirect to another form basically, another form, and it will have the actual criteria. It will have our facet field and all. Let's see actually this in happen. So let me go to this folder and I will install the various packages related to Azure Search library and let it get completed. It is complete. Now I will do .NET run. So after I have run the application, it got me here. So this is my application that I have run. So let me put something like London Hotel. Search it is giving me 18 result for London Hotel basically. Uh, it is showing me all the because we marked author field as a facet, so it is returning me all the possible values of the author. It is sorting it by the score, relevancy score. We can alter it as needed. By default it is sorting is. Let me show that in the code basically. If I close this let so that we can get a bigger window. So it is by default it is sorting on the search score, but there are other values we can change it. Let's come back. So first one is the link to that document. Obviously, I won't be able to show you now because anonymous access is disabled on the storage account. Okay, so I have changed the access level of the storage account, and if I click it now, I can able to see the document now. And if you want, you can play with it. Let's say we search for Tower of London. Let's search it. Shows all the beautiful hotels near Tower of London. We can filter it by reviewer. Let's see, we want to refine it. It shows the reviewer. If I go back, if I search it back, I go to Margis Travel. Refine the results. It shows me some different document. It is only one result basically. If I search it back again, so there are only normally three documents here. If I want to sort it, I can sort it. So similar way we can do it. So we are almost at the end of our today's session, and these are the link to various resources that I used for creating the source. So lab instructions you can find on this link. Again, I will add all these links into our description session so that you can go through it if you want. This is the link to the GitHub repo that I used to clone for creating the resources for this. And very thank you for all your time. Below are the link to my YouTube channel and my LinkedIn profile. If you want to connect, please send a request through. Thank you for listening.